How much is my workers' comp case worth in Massachusetts? Hi, I'm attorney John Sheehan. Since 1993, I've represented thousands of injured workers and accident victims throughout Massachusetts. I fight to make sure that my clients receive all the compensation and medical treatment that they're entitled to without getting taken advantage of by an insurance company. Well, when it comes to settlement value of your workers' comp case in Massachusetts, there are basically two main factors that control how much your case is worth. Number one is, what is your average weekly wage? Number two is, to what degree are you disabled, or what physical limitations do you have at the time that you reach what we call maximum medical improvement? Let's dig into this a little bit. Average weekly wage is a key term to understand in workers' comp. The average weekly wage is basically the average of all of the pay and compensation that you got from the job you were working at when you were hurt. That includes your regular pay, overtime, any type of shift differentials, bonuses, or commissions. And if you had a second job or a concurrent job, you were concurrently employed, under certain circumstances, if you meet the eligibility requirements, you could add those wages as well, which would enhance or increase your average weekly wage, which means more money for you in workers' comp lost wage benefits. As I mentioned, when you reach a point of what's called maximum medical improvement, at that point we need to look at what medical evidence is there. Either your doctor's report, maybe your lawyer sends you to a medical expert for an evaluation who will determine what permanent injuries you sustained as a result of the work accident, and to what degree do those limit your ability to perform activities that you'd have to be doing in a job, whether or not you can go back to your old job. You probably, in many cases, would be disabled from doing that type of work if you were severely injured in a work accident in Massachusetts. But then we have to look at what's your employability, what's your earning capacity. Do you have an earning capacity? And in determining that, we look at other factors such as the injured worker's age, your education, your past work experience. Do you have any transferable job skills? As you are right now with the limitations because of the work injury, are you able to perform some type of work? Do you need vocational retraining? And also, in many cases, with injured workers who are performing manual work, especially in construction or landscaping or painting, if you come from another country and English isn't your first language, how well are you able to speak, read, and write English and understand English? The other thing that controls how much your case is worth in a workers' comp case in Massachusetts is how much lost wage benefits do you have left in workers' comp. For example, with temporary total benefits, those only last for up to 3 years. Partial benefits can last for either 4 or 5 years, depending on whether or not you receive the full 3 years of temporary total benefits, and you cannot receive more than 7 years of temporary total and partial benefits combined. And in determining your eligibility for filing a claim for permanent total benefits, your lawyer would have to obtain a evaluation, either with your treating doctor or some other doctor, to determine whether or not you are permanently disabled. Now, there are many cases with older workers who have limited transferable skills. They'd need a lot of retraining, and they might have permanent disability, permanent partial disability with significant restrictions. Well, the law says that the judge, in determining whether or not you meet the requirements for permanent and total incapacity benefits in workers' comp, is not just a rubber stamp of what a doctor says, if it's an insurance doctor, or in some cases an impartial doctor. You also have to do an independent vocational assessment and look at the injured worker's age, education, work experience. All those things go into determining whether or not you're potentially eligible for permanent and total benefits, which will affect how much your case is worth. Finally, another consideration in some cases in how much your case is worth if you were hurt at work in Massachusetts Was the work accident caused by some serious and willful misconduct on the part of your employer? While it's rare and the bar is very high as far as what you have to be able to prove, there is the possibility in certain cases, if the work accident was caused by some serious and willful misconduct of your employer, that could be considered quasi-criminal. It was so bad. And in those cases, you might be able to bring a claim under what Section 28 of the Massachusetts Workers' Comp Act. And if you're able to prove that claim and prevail, you could receive double workers' comp. So these are all different considerations to take into account in determining how much your workers' comp case is worth. One thing is for sure, you should not try and handle your workers' comp claim by yourself. That's one sure way of making sure that your workers' comp claim is worth very little, because the insurance adjuster will take advantage of you, and there are so many traps that you can fall into, so many mistakes that you can make that will hurt your case. If you've been injured in a work accident in Massachusetts, whether or not you're receiving workers' comp, if your benefits maybe have recently been modified or terminated, you should contact an experienced Massachusetts workers' comp lawyer. If you'd like to contact me to discuss your case, you can call me. The number's below this video. You can send me an email. If you prefer, you can visit my website where you'll find contact forms that you can fill out and submit, and I'll be happy to reach back out to you. We can talk about how your accident happened, what your injuries are, what's going on with your case, what's going on with your medical treatment, what would I recommend for next steps. And if you found the information in this video helpful, please like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, click the bell icon below so you receive notifications of my future videos, and share this video with your friends and family.